Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Every man walking this earth, no matter how tough, no matter how strong he looks, deep down inside, he's got one simple desire. He wants to feel like he matters. That's it. You think it's money, you think it's cars, you think it's looks, but when the lights go out and the crowd disappears, that man is sitting there asking himself one question: do I mean something to her? A man's greatest craving is not always what the world tells you. People think he wants money, power, attention, or control. But deep inside, what keeps him going, what makes him walk taller, is respect. Respect is that invisible force that gives him confidence to face the world. Respect is that thing that makes him feel like he is a man. When a woman understands that, she unlocks the secret to his heart. Because no matter how successful, no matter how strong, no matter how charming a man might look to everybody else, if he goes home and does not feel respected, he is empty. But if he walks through that door and feels that his woman respects him, he becomes unstoppable. Respect is not about bowing down or being quiet. It is about recognizing his efforts, recognizing his struggles, and recognizing his place in your life. A man wants to know that his voice matters to you, that his decisions mean something, that you trust his judgment. He wants to feel that you see him as capable, as valuable, as worthy of your attention. That kind of respect is what feeds his spirit. And when a man feels that, he will run through fire for you. He will stay loyal because he feels safe in your admiration. Think about it. A man can get attention from many places. He can get laughter from friends. He can get admiration from coworkers. He can even get compliments from strangers. But respect from the woman he loves, that is different. That respect becomes fuel. It makes him stand taller in front of the world. It makes him chase bigger dreams. It makes him want to give more, to love deeper, to stay closer. That is why respect is more powerful than beauty, more powerful than charm, more powerful than attraction. Those things can catch a man's eye, but respect captures his soul. You can see it in his actions. When a man feels respected, he doesn't avoid responsibility, he embraces it. He doesn't shy away from commitment, he runs toward it. He doesn't give excuses, he gives results. But when he feels disrespected, he shuts down, he stops talking, he stops trying, he stops giving. That is why so many relationships fail, because people confuse love with respect. A man can love you, but if he feels you don't respect him, that love starts to wither. But if he feels your respect, that love grows stronger every day. Respect shows up in the small things. It's in the way you talk to him when you're upset. It's in the way you trust him when he makes a decision. It's in the way you say, I believe in you, when he is doubting himself. You don't have to agree with everything, but you do have to show that you value him. That's how you build his loyalty. Because a man who feels respected doesn't go looking for validation somewhere else. He already has it at home. And here's the truth. Respect is not weakness, it's power. Some women think showing respect makes them vulnerable, like they're giving too much. But in reality, it makes you stronger. It makes you the one woman he cannot replace, the one woman he cannot forget, the one woman he cannot live without. Respect makes you his safe place. And when a man has a safe place, he keeps coming back over and over because it's rare. Respect is not about being silent. It is not about ignoring your own needs. It is about balance. It's about showing him that you value his role while still being true to yourself. When you master that balance, you don't just get his attention, you get his devotion. You get a man who looks at you and says, she's the one I want for the rest of my life. That is the secret behind every strong relationship. A man craves respect more than anything else. You can give him love, you can give him affection, but when you give him respect, you give him the one thing he cannot live without. And when you do that, he will give you everything he has in return: his love, his loyalty, and his life. Appreciation is the one thing that can turn a good relationship into a great one. The one word that can take a man who is already giving and make him give more than you ever imagined. You see, men are not complicated the way people think they are. At the core, a man just wants to feel that what he does matters. He wants to know that the effort he puts in, the work he does, the sacrifices he makes are not invisible. That's why appreciation is the key. When a man feels truly appreciated, he is drawn closer like a magnet, and he finds himself addicted to the woman who makes him feel that way. The thing about appreciation is that it's not always about the big gestures. Sure, you can thank him for paying the bills or for fixing the car, but the kind of appreciation that touches a man's heart comes in the everyday moments. It's when you say, I love how hard you work for us. It's when you tell him, I notice how much you try. It's even in the small thank yous when he does something simple like carry a bag or open a door. Those words might sound small to you, but to a man, they are fuel. They are the reminders that he is not wasting his effort, that his love is being seen, that his sacrifices are worth it. These are the words that makes. Here's the truth. Men are not always going to say they need appreciation. In fact, a lot of men will act like they don't need it at all. They'll tell you they're fine. They'll act tough. They'll say they don't need recognition. But deep inside, every man craves it. He may not admit it, but when he feels it, he thrives. And when he doesn't, he starts to question his worth. That's why appreciation is so powerful. It doesn't just make him happy in the moment. It strengthens his entire sense of self. When a man feels appreciated, he becomes more generous with his love. He gives more without even being asked. He plans more. He dreams more. He wants to do more because in his mind, he's thinking, she sees me, she notices me, she values me. That kind of recognition creates loyalty. It creates a bond that makes him want to keep showing up for you. That's why some women have men who will do anything for them. It's not because they're the most beautiful or the most charming. It's because they mastered the art of appreciation. Appreciation also changes the energy between two people. Think about it. When someone feels taken for granted, they pull away. They stop talking. They stop giving. They stop caring as much. But when someone feels appreciated, they lean in. They engage more. They invest more. They want to see you happy. Men are no different. If he feels invisible, he checks out. But if he feels valued, he steps up. That's why it's so important to speak those words, not just think them. Because a man can't read your mind. He doesn't always know that you notice unless you say it. And when you do, it sticks with him. You can test this out for yourself. Tell a man you appreciate him and watch what happens. Watch his face light up. Watch his chest rise a little higher. Watch him move with more confidence. That one word, appreciation, can change the way he sees himself, and it will definitely change the way he sees you. Because to him, you're no longer just someone he loves, you're someone who believes in him. And when a man finds that, He doesn't want to let it go. So many people underestimate the power of words. They think actions are enough, but words breathe life into actions. A man who hears thank you will keep trying. A man who hears I'm proud of you will push harder. A man who hears I see what you do for me will keep choosing you. That's the addiction right there. It's not about manipulation or control. It's about connection. It's about making him feel that his efforts have meaning. When you give a man appreciation, you give him the one thing that makes him keep coming back. Because beauty fades, attraction shifts, but appreciation sticks. It lives in his heart, and it makes him want to be yours and only yours. That's why appreciation is the secret word that makes a man feel addicted to you. Every man alive, no matter his background, no matter how tough he acts, wants to feel like the hero in the life of the woman he loves. He doesn't want to be just a man you call when you're bored. He doesn't want to be one more name in your phone. He doesn't want to be just another option in a lineup of choices. What he truly desires is to be the one you look at and say, that's my man. He's my rock. He's my hero. When a man feels that way, when he knows that you see him as more than ordinary, you unlock a part of him that is powerful, loyal, and committed. You see, men are wired to protect, to provide, and to solve. It's not about ego alone, it's about identity. A man feels most alive when he feels needed, when he feels like he is making a difference in your world. If he senses that his presence is replaceable, that anybody could step into his role, he won't give his best. He might even hold back his love. But when he feels like your hero, when he feels that he holds a position no one else can take, he gives everything. He pours his heart out. He sacrifices. He invests because he's driven by the thought that he is irreplaceable in your life. This doesn't mean you have to make him a superhero in every sense. It doesn't mean he has to save the day every time. Sometimes being a hero is as simple as you letting him open the jar when you can't, or asking him for advice when you already know the answer, or telling him how much you trust him when life feels uncertain. These moments may look small, but to him, they are proof that he matters. They tell him that you rely on him, that you see him as strong, that you believe he's capable, and that belief lights him up inside. Think about it. Every man wants to know that his woman believes in him. That belief is what makes him fight harder, dream bigger, and stay closer. If he feels like he's just one of many, like he can be swapped out anytime, his energy changes. He stops trying as hard because he doesn't feel special. But when you give him the feeling that he's your hero, he stands taller. He becomes more confident, and he treats you with a level of love that no one else will ever get from him. Men are simple in that way. We don't need a lot, but we need the right thing. And that right thing is significance. We want to be the one you brag about, the one you turn to, the one you respect. If you give that to a man, he'll give you his loyalty. He'll give you his protection. He'll give you his best self, because nothing motivates a man more than knowing that he is number one in your heart. Here's what's important. Making him feel like a hero doesn't mean you have to diminish yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be weak or dependent. Strong women can still make men feel like heroes. It's not about pretending you can't handle life. It's about allowing him to be part of your journey, about making space for his role in your story. Because even the strongest man doesn't want to stand on the sidelines. He wants to be on the field playing the game with you, winning with you, and sometimes carrying you when you can't carry yourself. When a man feels like your hero, he invests differently. He doesn't just give you time, he gives you consistency. He doesn't just give you gifts, he gives you effort. He doesn't just say, I love you, he proves it in the way he shows up every single day. Because for him, being your hero isn't a title, it's a mission. It becomes the thing he wakes up for, the thing he works hard for, the thing he wants to protect at all costs. Men want to feel like the hero in your life, not just another option. When you make him feel that way, you'll see his best self. You'll see his love, his loyalty, his strength, his commitment. Because the truth is, no man ever walks away from the woman who makes him feel like a hero. Words are powerful, more powerful than most people realize. They can build a man up or they can tear him down. For a man, words of acknowledgement are not just compliments, they are fuel. They are the thing that makes him stand taller, try harder, and give more. When you speak acknowledgement into a man's life, you're not just flattering him. You're giving him the confidence to keep being his best self. That acknowledgement deepens his attachment to you because you become the voice that encourages him when the world is silent or even against him. A man faces battles every day that most people never see. He carries pressures about money, about responsibility, about expectations, about being strong when he feels weak. Sometimes he doesn't show it, sometimes he hides it, but it's always there. And in those moments, one word of acknowledgement from the woman he loves can make all the difference. A simple, I'm proud of you, can take the weight off his shoulders. A sincere, I see how hard you're working, can give him the strength to keep pushing. Those words let him know that his effort is not invisible. They remind him that he's not just grinding for nothing. He's grinding for something and someone who notices. When a man feels acknowledged, he connects that feeling with the person who gave it to him. That's why acknowledgement deepens attachment. He remembers who made him feel seen when others overlooked him. He remembers who lifted his spirit when others tore him down. That memory becomes emotional glue, bonding him to you in a way that physical attraction alone never could. Because beauty might catch his attention, but acknowledgement keeps his heart. And it doesn't take grand speeches or poetic lines to do this. It's often the simplest words that matter most. Saying, thank you for fixing that, or I trust you with this, or you're really good at what you do. Those statements might seem small, but to a man, they are affirmations of his identity. They tell him he's capable, that he's strong, that he's valuable. They quiet the doubts in his mind and replace them with pride. And when he feels that pride, he associates it with you because you were the one who spoke it into him. Think about how people perform when they feel appreciated. An employee who hears from their boss, you're doing a great job, works harder. A child who hears, I'm proud of you, tries again even after failing. Men are no different. In fact, they're often more driven by acknowledgement than they admit. A man who hears from his woman, I believe in you, will do everything in his power not to let her down. A man who hears, you make me feel safe, will move heaven and earth to keep that safety intact. Acknowledgement is a motivator, and it's one that never loses its power. Without acknowledgement, though, a man can shrink. He may still go through the motions, but his energy fades. He starts to question whether his work, his effort, or even his presence matters. He might not say it out loud, but inside he feels empty. That's why men sometimes drift, why they sometimes seek validation elsewhere, because they're starving for acknowledgement. But when he receives it consistently from you, he doesn't need to look anywhere else. You've already filled that need. And here's the beauty of it. Acknowledgement doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It takes a moment, a sentence, a look in his eyes while you say it. But that small act plants a seed in his heart that keeps growing. It strengthens him and it strengthens the bond between you. It's a cycle. The more you acknowledge him, the more confident he becomes. And the more confident he becomes, the more he invests back into the relationship. Words of acknowledgement are fuel, plain and simple. They fuel his confidence, they fuel his drive, and they fuel his love for you. A man who feels acknowledged is a man who feels seen, valued, and respected. And when he feels that way, he attaches himself to the one who gave him that gift. Because at the end of the day, it's not the loudest voice in the room he remembers. It's the one that spoke life into him when he needed it most. Every man faces enough battles out there in the world. He's got pressure from his job, expectations from his family, stress about money, and the constant demand to stay strong even when he feels tired inside. What he doesn't need is to come home and find another battlefield waiting for him. A man doesn't build loyalty to the woman who always makes him feel like he's fallen short. He builds loyalty to the woman who uplifts him, the one who sees his efforts, the one who gives him strength when the world tries to drain it. That's the woman he'll protect. That's the woman he'll fight for. And that's the woman he'll never want to lose. Now, don't get it twisted. Men are not running from strong women. A strong man loves a strong woman. But strength isn't about tearing him down or always pointing out what he's not doing. Strength is about knowing when to push and when to pour encouragement. Because the truth is, a man doesn't grow under constant criticism. He grows when he feels supported. You can challenge him, yes, but if challenge is all you give him, he'll eventually feel like he's never good enough. But if you uplift him while you challenge him, if you remind him of what he's capable of, then he'll rise every time. Think about how loyalty is built. A man stays where he feels empowered. He stays where he feels like he can breathe. He stays with the woman who makes him feel like more, not less. Uplifting words, a supportive tone, a reminder that you believe in him. These things stick with a man long after arguments fade. He will remember the woman who spoke life into him when he was doubting himself. He will remember the one who said, "I know you can handle this," instead of, "Why can't you ever get this right?" That difference is the difference between a man who feels safe and loyal and a man who feels small and restless. Every man wants to know that the woman by his side is his teammate, not his opponent. He wants to feel like you're building with him, not battling against him. If you uplift him, you give him energy. If you uplift him, you make him believe he can conquer the world. But if all he hears is criticism, if all he feels is pressure, eventually he'll pull away. Not because he doesn't love you, but because every man is searching for peace, and he won't stay where he feels constantly attacked. Loyalty is born from gratitude. A man who feels grateful for your support will be loyal beyond measure. He will turn down temptation. He will ignore distractions. He will shut doors on other opportunities because he doesn't want to risk losing the one person who makes him feel strong. You become his anchor, his safe space, his reason to keep going. That's why uplifting him is not weakness, is wisdom. Because the more you pour into him, the more he will pour into you. And uplifting doesn't always mean big speeches or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as telling him you're proud. Sometimes it's letting him know you see the effort he puts in, even if the results aren't perfect yet. Sometimes it's standing beside him in silence when he feels defeated, just so he knows he's not alone. These little acts of encouragement are what build unshakable loyalty, because in his mind, he's saying, she's with me even when I'm down. She's got my back. That's my woman. When a man finds that, he doesn't look anywhere else. He doesn't crave another option. He doesn't wonder what's out there, because he already has what he needs. A woman who makes him feel like he's more than enough. That's what keeps him loyal. That's what keeps him invested. That's what makes him fight for the relationship, no matter what storms come. A man is more loyal to the woman who uplifts him than the one who only challenges him. Because at the end of the day, he can get challenges from life, from work, from the world, but he only wants one place where he can feel lifted. If that place is with you, then you'll never have to question his loyalty. He'll give it to you freely, fully, and forever. A man will never stop chasing the woman who makes him feel significant. Significance is not about spoiling him. It's not about giving him everything he wants. And it's not about bowing down to his every demand. Significance is about making him feel like his presence matters, like his role in your life cannot be replaced, like the effort he gives has meaning. When a man feels that kind of significance, he doesn't get comfortable and stop trying. He gets motivated to keep chasing, keep proving, and keep winning your love over and over again. See, men are hunters by nature. We are wired to pursue, to go after what we want. But once we get it, the pursuit doesn't always last. That's why so many relationships start strong and then fade. But here's the truth. A man only keeps chasing what makes him feel alive, what makes him feel seen, what makes him feel like he's contributing to something bigger than himself. That's why significance is so important. When a man feels significant, he never loses that hunger to keep pursuing you. Think about it. If a man feels like nothing he does matters, he slows down. He starts giving less effort. He assumes that whether he tries or not, nothing changes. But if he feels like every step he takes, every move he makes, every sacrifice he gives is noticed and valued, then he doubles his effort. He thinks, I can't stop now because she sees me and she values me. That thought keeps him chasing. That thought keeps him loyal. That thought keeps him attached. Significance isn't about flattery. It's not about pretending he's perfect or ignoring his flaws. It's about making him feel that his contribution matters, that his role is important, that his love is meaningful. When you tell him you appreciate the way he provides, when you acknowledge the way he protects you,